Hello, everyone, and welcome back yet again to another new episode of Inside Voices First Takes. I am still Colin Binnig.
And I remain Adam Rubin.
Indeed he is. And your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to once again watch us debate over a movie we've just seen in the movie theater for the first time, Mission Impossible Fallout.
What the hell is he doing?
I find it best not to look.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, I wonder, did you ever choose not to?
And Adam, you know, the casting call for that role had happened a couple years ago, so you're a little late to the party. But
and I can't grow a scraggly enough beard.
Nonetheless, a well done job, everybody. Let's give a round of applause. Everybody? No? Nobody's here? Okay, it's just me. All right, so Mission Impossible 6, Fallout. I will let you have the floor first. First impression, what'd you think?
My first impression was, it ain't no Mission Impossible 3, but it'll do. It'll do. I thought it was the best Mission Impossible lately. I certainly thought it was better than the previous couple, but Mission Impossible 3 with Philip Seymour Hoffman remains, in my opinion, the greatest of the series.
So, okay, let's just do like a quick bang, bang, bang. So going in, you had 3 number 1, and that's still number 1 after this movie.
Yes, that's right.
Would you put this second then of all of them?
Of all of them. Yeah, I think so.
You would.
I think it's second. I think it's second, and I think third place would be the very first one.
Okay. All right. So
I think my list is 3, 6, 1. And then it would get a little niggly. I don't know.
Okay. I think I might have to agree with you in terms of, I think Fallout. Well, hang on. I think Fallout.
Bring on the agreement.
I think Fallout is, for me personally, the second best mission movie of them all. For me, though, number 1 was 5. Was the one right before this. It was Rogue Nation.
Really?
Yeah, Rogue Nation. I thought just was such a better job at taking so many different pieces and perfectly putting them all together by the third act and having a great kind of like finale to it. I'm with you, though. I love 3 a lot. 3 is probably my third favorite. I think Fallout now beats it slightly. But I'm a big fan of 3 as well. I think I have the first movie 4th. I think I have Ghost Protocol 5th, and then Mission Impossible 2 by John Woo is last. But I very much enjoyed this movie. This movie, it felt very different from Rogue Nation, even though
yes, it did. Yes, it did. And
it was done though by the same director, and it had a lot of the same Rogue Nation like setup points. You know, it's dealing with the fallout of the Syndicate, where there's still rogue members causing havoc, renaming themselves apostles. You have the Solomon Lane character still involved. You have Alec Baldwin come back and now be the head of the IMF from the end of Part 5. So it kind of felt like a nice continuation, but man, did it feel very different, which I was impressed by. They didn't try to just copy what Rogue Nation did. They tried to do a different type of movie, a different tone, different vibe, and I was all for it.
Absolutely. And I think that having the same director come back so that he's gotten all that out of his system in the first movie, but he really intimately understands the themes of the first one, I say first one, I mean his first one, the previous one.
Right.
I think that really worked to this film's advantage in terms of the continuity that we were able to get. It's different, but all the threads, none of the threads bumped for me. None of it was like, oh, really? We're going to pursue this thing now? It all made total sense based on the last one. And to be honest, none of it's very important. The Syndicate and all the things about their planet, not very important. And I like the fact that it wasn't very important in this one. I think that some of the Mission Impossible movies fell into the trap of really making it very important what the plan was, what the sort of international espionage hijinks were. and we were supposed to care about, like, oh, what's this going to do to the world? And that doesn't work that well in these movies because they're just a little bit too silly for that. I just can't be made to care about those things. I thought this movie did a much better job of narrowing in on the part that we're supposed to care about and made it narrow enough that we could wrap our heads around it and actually have an opinion and be invested in the outcome of the situation, which, of course, we'll discuss in more detail once we get into spoilers, but right now, no spoilers. But I think that is the same thing that they did so well in Mission Impossible 3, was make it very specific and very personal for Tom Cruise's character and for us. Exactly why are we supposed to care about all this rigmarole, doobly-doo, as opposed to, oh, God, the knock list. What if the knock list gets into the hands of the other people? I don't care. I don't care about the knock list, and I never did. These kinds of more focused, more personal dramas, I think work better for this franchise. So it can really just be about, ooh, what's he going to have to do to stop the thing that I don't like? That's what we like to see.
Okay. Well, I agree with some of what you say, and especially in terms of, like, the third movie, I really stuck with me because, like you said, it was a very personal mission. Like the item in question, what was it? The rabbit's foot. We never get any explanation about what it is.
Who cares?
Like you said, it's not that important. The important part was the Ethan and Julia relationship, and also Ethan with his team. Avenging the loss of the agent that died in the very beginning of the movie. Like that, right. You're absolutely right. I do feel, though, that because as much as the rabbit's foot isn't important, they at least gave it enough of like a mysteriousness to it that you still felt like it kind of mattered, even if you didn't know what it was. And for me, a great mission movie has to have at least the plot has to have a little bit weight to it, even if I don't actually understand all the implications of it. And that was the problem with Ghost Protocol. Ghost Protocol was just so, like, the plot of the movie is so generic and so non-memorable. What you remember from Ghost Protocol is him climbing the Dubai Tower. You don't remember anything else except that it's a Russian trying to launch nukes. How many times have we seen that in any other movie? Like, that is not important enough for me to be like, that's not worthy of a mission plot. That's not over the top enough. Russian with nukes, that was it? So I liked how 5 actually had a good weight to the story, like an anti-IMF, a whole organization that just wants to cause chaos. I like that. That has actual weight to it. And there was a personal connection. Mm-hmm. He started playing games with Ethan after he shot the record store lady in the beginning of that film. So it was the perfect combination. 6, they went back to nukes, unfortunately, which again I've seen, but because they used some of Rogue Nation people
no spoilers.
It's in the trailer, plutonium.
Okay.
Adam, that's a spoiler. Okay. So they use a little bit of Ghost Protocol, but along with Rogue Nation, make like a hybrid, and it still for me worked because you didn't make it as simple as what Ghost Protocol gave us. So I actually, I'm with you a little bit on the plot, but I still think there needs to be more to it than just like it can't be too simple, I think.
I think it should be as simple as possible because at this point, you can't have it be, well, let's put it this way. Let's back away from the adjective simple. I think what it needs to do is focus on very specific and obvious consequences for failure. I think what the movies used to do, and they did too much of, is the old, like, crossed, double-crossed, triple-double-crossed, because it's always a mask. And the espionage-ness of that, like, it's been played out. We know in these movies that anytime someone's supposed to be someone, it's a mask. We know that. That's the thing they go back to.
It's all out provided, it can still really work, because there are 2 moments that land with that spiness that you're talking about.
But they only land because the Fallout really, like, had a couple of those things. It really got it all out of the way. All the crosses, double cross, who's really a good guy, who's really a bad guy. It got it all out of the way early, which I suspect it will receive some criticism for, but I thought was great, because then we can just enjoy the chase. In one case, a literal chase, and then the more figurative chase of the cat and mouse of just, ooh, you know, will they, won't they? Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? And that's when I think these movies are at their best, because that's when they can lean in to their best element, which is the over-the-top action. I can't enjoy the action if they have to keep cutting away every 5 seconds to re-explain what the danger is supposed to be. I need to just understand why it's important and then watch him go for it.
Yeah, nobody wants to interrupt the action by like exposition, like you say. But I do want at least scenes of exposition that have weight to it, along with the action.
Earlier, you're saying.
Well, whenever it's appropriate. You know.
But not during the action is what I'm.
Not during the action. No, I agree with you.
Okay, beforehand.
Before we go any further, we should probably mention, I think we're going to go into spoiler territory, because there's something I really want to highlight in this movie, which I thought was his greatest feature.
Okay, so we're going to wait on that until after spoiler time?
Yes, so I'm saying.
All right, so what do we give the movie then before we get into spoilers?
Before we get into spoilers.
Should people see it or not see it?
Oh, you have to see this. And not just see this, go see it in IMAX. I saw it in IMAX, Universal. It was beautiful when the camera went wide during, well, 2 specific sequences, which I will not give away.
Don't give away.
And it's a blast. See it with a big theater, as many people as you can, because it's a crowd pleaser. I give it a strong 8.5, maybe out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys. Yeah. Okay, so I'm not prepared to give it a number yet. For that, you'll have to watch till the end of the video. But I can say that I agree with Colin that you should see it. You should see it in the largest theater you can see it in. You should see it in the most packed theater you can get. It is a crowd movie, and it's a lot of fun. If you like action movies, even if you don't like the other Mission Impossible movies, if you just like action movies, I think this is one for you. I think there's some very, very good action sequences in this movie. So, yeah, go see it. Go see it in theaters. And then once you've seen it, come on back, because we're about to enter spoiler territory. Okay, Colin, lay it on me.
Okay.
Spoiler time? What are you talking about?
Let me disagree on something you just said about how if you are not a fan of these mission movies, necessarily you would love 6.
Spoiler alert, Colin's going to disagree with me.
I think, actually, if 6 you'll like more if you have seen all 5, because 6, this movie, and I'm trying to think of an example that is like similar, but I honestly think this movie might be the greatest example of how to do a greatest hits movie in a franchise that feels like a culmination of everything that has come before. Let me explain.
Yeah, do explain.
There are elements of every single one of the previous movies all in this movie on purpose. Okay? The first Mission Impossible. Do you recall...
The knock list.
Yes, the one with the knock list. But do you recall who the villain was in that one? Who the woman? What was her name?
Oh, the woman? No, not the woman.
No, the woman on the train. Not the.
She's not the bad guy.
She is a bad. Yeah, she is the one who hired the guy. Anyway.
Yeah, but
guess what? Vanessa Kirby, the blonde girl in this movie, is her daughter. Already, there's the connection from Mission Impossible 1, and I appreciated that. Number two, one of the greatest things that come out of Mission Impossible 2 is Tom Cruise opening the movie rock climbing. How does Tom Cruise stop the detonator at the end? He has to rock climb up the wall.
Time to free climb again, yes.
Whatever. It's an homage. Perfect. You acknowledge 2 happened, we move on. Mission Impossible 3. The wife is introduced. Guess what? We bring the wife back in to get those personal stakes again, okay? Perfect. Moving on. 4, nuclear weapon. Okay, big stakes. It has affected the world, except we're not nuking cities like the Russian guy wanted to do. We're nuking natural resources because, as you say, the greater the suffering, the greater the peace. Perfect. Connection.
I did say that.
Moving over. And then 5, the syndicate. Now, because there's the leftover of the syndicate in this movie, and Solomon Lane and Alec Baldwin, the 5 connection is there. Good. Moving on. And Ilsa Faust, Rebecca Ferguson is back in it as well. 5 in the movie. And now you put them all together, and you get the greatest culmination of all 5 movies leading to this moment. I was impressed how little details all added up from every single movie. So well spread throughout the movie. Well done, writer and directors.
And I agree with you in terms of it was very well delivered fan service. But what I will also say is you didn't need to know absolutely any of that to enjoy the movie. None of that was relevant to the movie.
Like a nice little cherry on top. Don't you like whipped cream and cherry on top of your dessert?
Not me personally, but your point is still well taken. I understood that what you meant to say was Oreos sprinkled atop your dessert, which I do enjoy.
Trick Oreo treats. Yes.
I get that you enjoyed the movie on a level that the people who don't know all those details won't get. But I'm still saying they will never know that. They won't know what they're missing. It's still an extremely enjoyable movie, even if you don't like the other Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, it is enjoyable, but if you really
it's a straight action movie.
If you really want to savor like all the little like nods and Easter eggs and references, it helps to have seen all 5.
True. And if you're here, presumably you do want to savor all the little references. So thank you for being with us. Go watch the movies. Go watch 1 through 5. Suffer through the 2 terrible ones. And really enjoy the 3rd one. And then get to 6, because 6 is delightful.
I personally think there's just one terrible one, which is 2. What's your other terrible one of the 6?
Oh, I don't really care for 4.
I mean, I think 4 is a lot of people really love Ghost Protocol. Yeah, but like I said earlier, I think there's just not enough weight in terms of the story. And the Jeremy Renner reveal was kind of anticlimactic.
The whole movie felt very anticlimactic. I'm not a big fan of 5, but 4 is worse.
Oh, say okay. So I love 5. That's my favorite. And I thought a lot of people were saying 6 was going to be better than 5, and I'm sure it does rival it.
And it was. And it was. Those people were right. Those people and me.
No, 5 is still the best. But let me just add a quick few just technical problems I had.
Sure.
Because like I said, I don't think it's better than 5 for me. Because now, tell me if I'm wrong, but the whole plot of the whole original mission of the movie was to not just get the plutonium back, but also identify the remaining the apostles, the remaining members of the syndicate. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
That was right. We didn't ever resolve that though, right? And like that was never fixed. That's still just hanging out in the background. Okay, well that's a problem. you didn't solve your own mission. You only solved half of it.
Right.
That's not good.
Well, they got to leave something for 7, Colin.
Well, all right. Well, I just thought you introduced him at 6. You're supposed to resolve that conflict by the end of the movie. And then also the Vanessa Kirby character, the White Widow, who is supposedly is Mac's daughter. So we led to believe that she's like an arms dealer with the plutonium, but then she's actually a CIA contact. She's a CIA courier or something. Did you understand that? Because all of a sudden, then she's helping them at the end deliver Lane back.
Yes. So she is an arms dealer, but she, her whole business depends on being protected politically so that she can make all these insane deals. And in order to gain favor with the U.S. government and get the CIA to protect her politically, she's been doing a bunch of favors for the CIA in terms of putting them in touch with the people from the syndicate so that they can help identify them. There you go, Colin. There's your connection.
But she was also working for MI6 because that's who Lane has to be delivered to.
No, the CIA asked her to give them to Lane. Give them to.
She's going to do it? Like, willy-nilly? That's a lot of trust in her.
That's what she does. She's a dealer. You paid her, and you gave her something, so she does the thing you want. That's her whole deal.
She wanted to break Lane out initially, so now she's going to be fine just turning her over.
No, she didn't. That was just the deal. She wanted, the people who had the plutonium wanted Lane broken out, so she said, all right, so you break him out, and then I'll make sure they'll give you the plutonium. She's a middleman.
With those other people, like her brother and the other guys in the street. I see.
She's the middleman.
Here. All right, there we go.
There you go. Business lesson.
No, so the score, great again. The action, fantastic. The cinematography. The one shot of the Halo dive, right? And the motorcycles in Paris all looked phenomenal. So, and I loved how the Ilsa-Ethan relationship developed more, and I think we're finally getting to a couple between the two of them. If he can't be with Julia, this is the couple that Ethan needs to be with.
True. But I gotta break in and just say, the action in this one was the best of any of them.
You think so?
The best action in any of those movies, and frankly, it's the best action I've seen in a long time. Better than the most recent James Bond films. The action in this movie was extraordinary,
I agree.
I think it's worth seeing it just for that.
And I concur.
Excellent.
All right. Well, I think that's it for us on Inside. But wait, final score. You didn't give us one. What is it?
Final score, 7.8.
Unbelievable. That's way too specific. Well, for Adam, I am still Colin Binnick, and this has been Inside Voices, First Takes.